Hey there, Uniservo here. I felt like making a video and didn't even bother cleaning off my table where I do a lot of shooting here. So there is a bit of junk on the periphery. So just ignore it. It's good junk though. See? Sylvania. Anyway, Nixie tubes. Yeah, we all love our Nixie tubes. Yeah, that's pretty standard. However, that was not the only product that Burroughs made. Obviously, yes, they made a lot of computers, but they also made beam switching tubes for counting things. And there's a kind of an involved history behind them with certain people getting credit and certain people not. And well, in the long run, it all turned out to be, well, kind of Burroughs, but I guess Erickson was in the deal too. But yes, there were counting tubes, generally made for counting pulses. And yes, Burroughs ended up being more or less the leader with a bunch of different types. Probably the first and maybe most well known was the 6700. And yeah, maybe someday I'll do a video on those a little more in depth. But the interesting thing is, hey, if you have a counting tube and a Nixie, you can put them together and make a counting module. And that is what we're going to show you right now. Here it is. This is a counting module from Burroughs, and we will show you there. Electronic Tube Division, Burroughs Corporation, yes. Type DC105, and serial on this one is what, 219, I think. And this big red thing here is the beam switching tube. It is a BD301, which is nearly identical to the 6700. But it's got a Nixie on front. So Burroughs was selling these things, and you can see there was a spot for a couple of tubes there. And it is listed on the board what the tubes are. 5670 and a 5963, so a couple of twin triodes, which I think are just there for buffering the incoming pulses. You can see this slid into a some sort of cage. But yeah, Burroughs made these things. Now, this is one of those videos where I'm going to ask for data. See if the great masses out there have data on this. Now, I don't know if this was the first of the Burroughs counting modules, but it did become a small business for them, a small side business. And eventually, they actually called these things Trixies. So, yeah, we had the Nixie tube. Everyone knows about the Nixie tube. There's one. There were also Pixie tubes, which a lot of people don't know about. It was kind of a very crude version, cost-reduced. Let's just say that, cost-reduced Nixie tube. And one of these days when I find my few remaining Pixie tubes, I'll do a video on those. I had bucket loads of them a long time ago, but I sold them off kind of before all the Nixie tube craze. It must have been 10 years ago, because boy, are Pixie tubes hard to find these days. Anyway, going along with the Ixie branding, Burroughs came out with the Trixie brand. And the idea was to make a plug-in module where you just more or less plug it in, and there's a Nixie tube, and you just link these things up, and you can make a counter with them. So you could have a number of these things. So yeah, like, do a demo here. Okay, this one doesn't have a tube in it, but I suppose we could put that one in. But yeah, you could put these things together, and presumably they cascade. Anyway, most of the Trixies, in fact, all the Trixies that I have data for, are transistor variants. They're slightly later versions. I don't have data for this one, and it'd be awfully cool to play around with it. Yeah, I could probably kind of reverse engineer this thing, but I always like to have the real data just in case there's something funny going on. So yes, this is a, let's get that number again, DC105. And yeah, they do seem to be in the DC series decimal counter, maybe. I don't know. But on some of the online Burroughs catalogs and data books, they do have the later versions that are transistorized. Well, obviously, voltages are way different, especially for the interface. Yeah, okay, the Nixie tube voltages are going to be the same, but I think at some point they actually got rid of these counting tubes and went all basically solid state. Because these counting tubes, and you can see you can't really see anything because there's a gigantic magnet and shield around it. And yes, these things are slightly magnetic, but they did shield them to kind of contain it. Boy, they complicated tubes inside. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm sure they were not cheap. They have some real advantages over some of the other counting tubes of the era. Ooh, the light's not too good there. Apparently, they're quite fast compared to the more familiar Decatron that we all kind of know. And another big advantage of these things is they more or less just interface straight to a Nixie. There's not a whole lot going on between. You can see the socket for the counting tube and the actual Nixie just has some resistors, and there's very little screwing around you have to do to get a beam counting tube, one of these 6700s or BD301, and there are a few others, to interface to a Nixie tube. So they pop right together. So, yeah, interesting device. And you can see I have two of these DC105s. Those are the ones I'm looking for data for. But I also have one of these, which is a DC106K. And yeah, it's dirty. And it's almost the same. One thing you will notice is everything is glopped up. It's conformally coded, I guess you could say. Military spec? I don't know. But yeah, it's just looking at the little bits of the circuit board that you can actually see. Sorry, you can't really see down there. But even at the end here, let's see if we can... And yeah, I'm sorry, this one is pretty filthy. The rubber conformal coating seems to have attracted all the dust for the past 60 years or whatever. Minor differences. So something's going on here. Now, yeah, it's got this what looks like stainless carrier, which I don't think is a Burroughs thing. Simply because you have this where a part number was scratched out and a non-Burroughs looking number was put there. But it looks like the screw footprint is the same. Yeah, I don't know. So I'd take data on this as well. They're probably pretty similar. And yeah, this one does not have a Nixie either. Ooh, that is dark. In fact, it's got a bit of plastic in there. Yeah, I don't know. And it doesn't have the real nice look about it. So we'll put him back and look at the nice one. So yeah, I've got three of these things, one of which might be slightly incompatible. I don't know. So I guess I could make, I count to 1,000, I guess. But yeah, I am looking for data for this DC105 or DC106K. Actually, any early DC number, I suppose, would be good. Yeah, not the transistor ones because, well, like I said, I can find the schematics and the interface for that, but I just can't find anything for these. Now, yeah, getting the tubes is no problem. I got 8.5 zillion of probably either of those tubes. They're both twin triodes. Yeah, neat. You see the sticker is kind of coming off in there, but not much can be done about that. Maybe I'll put a little glue in there and get it back. But yeah, and yes, this thing is brand new. I took it out of the box, and still have the box. So this has never been used. And frankly, I've never seen these before. So hey, if you know anything about these, let me know. And especially if you have the data sheet. You know, I can get the data sheet for the tube. Obviously for the Nixie, they're pretty brain dead. And, well, common tubes, common triodes, or twin triodes. But yeah, I just don't want to have to go through the bother of buzzing this thing out and figuring where the circuit board goes and all that, the traces go, because obviously that would involve a lot of disassembly here. All right, so yes, that is my that's my request, latest schematic request or data request. And hey, you know, I use these videos to sometimes see if I could scout out some of that data, and every so often someone sends me a message saying, hey, yes, I do have data or information or whatever on mystery device X that you made a video on. So hey, it works. So yeah, I'm gonna, now the summer is getting towards us. Spring is here, and the fire inspection is over. Boy, did I get yelled at. I'm gonna start making more videos, and yeah. Oh, and if anyone cares, yes, a little over 6 tons of steel was in that dumpster, and it felt like 12 tons of steel. All right, well, I do have to get back to work, but I figure I would make a video on this lovely piece here. Maybe I can make something for a there. That maybe it'll pick that up as being the the thumbnail, so I don't have to find the frame and all that. All right. You have any questions? Do leave a comment. If you do have the data, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. And yeah, maybe share this around, because I know there's an awful lot of people out there that are fans of Nixie tubes. And yes, I know about the Neon Nixie forum or list. I forget what it is, but no, I'm not on it. Maybe someone can post and say, hey, here's this thing. Guy needs data. Help him. All right. And yeah, subscribe if you like the video, leave a comment, and all that usual YouTube stuff. All right. Bye now.